Hey YouTubers, I just wanted to do a real quick video on making your own carry case for the DJI Mini 2 when you have the prop guards on it. So a little bit of a backstory here. I've got these prop guards, and I like them for hand catching. It gives me a bit more confidence, as well as the other safety features of prop guards. These ones are really hard to take off. They snap together, and I actually broke one the first time I tried to take them apart. So I wanted to rig up a case so I don't have to take these off when I'm going out shooting. If I was traveling on an airline and I wanted to get it in the overhead, of course I would take them off so I can fold it up. It doesn't take any room at all. But, just for locally, for carrying it in the car, I wanted to rig something up. And I came across a great solution. I found this... I saw this old Samsonite, it's an old Samsonite briefcase, and I looked at it in the Salian and I thought, I bet you that's just about what I need. I bet you that's the right size. These are really common. They're very common and they're out of style now. I picked this up for $3 or something up here in Canada in a Salian, a used store. You might have one kicking around, or you'll find one really cheap in a used store. And the dimensions of this thing, of the case, the dimensions of this thing is it's 18 by 12, and it's 5 inches deep. As I said, it's a real common size. This is a Samsonite, but they all made this size. They called them sample cases. So you'll probably be able to find one. And it's worked out perfect for me. It's just the perfect size. Now the key to this, to make this work, is to have some dense foam. You want dense foam. The soft kind of, the soft stuff, it's too hard to cut, too hard to shape. So you want some dense foam, and you want some box cutters, X-Acto knife with a new blade. You want to have a new blade in there. If it's not a new blade, go and buy some. They're cheap, because you want to have a new blade. That's the key to the whole thing. And then after that, it's just a matter of doing some measurements and figuring out how deep. When you get to the prop guards, to this section here, I think I went an inch deep on the foam, and that worked out well. And the key to not the key, but what made this easy for me was I had this piece here. This would have been a piece of foam packing from an external hard drive that I picked up a while ago. And, my DJI just fit in there perfect with these cheap, landing legs, with those cheap landing legs on there. I picked up a pair of those landing legs. Check out my video accessories for the DJI Mini 2. I talk about the prop guards and the landing legs. So that was a good starting point. And the base of this foam, I'd say, is about it's about 3/4 of an inch thick, and that just seemed to be the perfect height. When I closed the case. I don't think it's not tight, but it's tight enough that when I turn it over, the drone shifts maybe 1/8 of an inch. And I'm not going to be throwing this on an airplane or throwing it around. This is just going to be going in my car, and that's it. Like I said, if you have a brand new blade on your cutting knife, it works pretty good. You have to notch in round for the back, and I've got some notches here for the arms where it's lower, and the front legs have to be notched in, so you can pop those in. And then I just made a notch for my battery. I got a spot there for my battery, and it worked out really good. I'm just going to do a quick demo on how I made the cuts, and I'm going to do some actual cutting on some of the dense foam here. So now this foam here, this is 2 inches thick, and I had to cut it to fit in there. And then, as I said, the tricky part was cutting this round thing for the rotors. And I'm going to just quickly show you how I did that. And for the prop guards, I went down about an inch for the prop, for the rear prop. They're lower than the front. And all I did for that was just going to do a real quick thing here. So I just made the shape. I put the drone in there and I made the shape with my Sharpie. And measured down an inch for depth. And this isn't, you're not building a grand piano here. This is, you're working with foam. It's all pretty forgiving. And again, the key is having a brand new blade. And you just have to kind of work it. You just have to kind of work it. And you don't have to worry too much about going a bit deeper with the blade to get your round cut. That's not really that important if you go deeper than an inch when you're doing this part of it here. And then using that as a guide, there's your 1 inch depth. So I know I've got enough depth there. Then I just kind of worked it. I didn't try to do the whole circle at once. I did it in stages. Oh, it's not quite ready yet. Yeah, so there's my prop cutout. That was the trickiest part. For the controller and for the battery, again, I made a, I marked it with my Sharpie. For the controller and the controller with this 2-inch thick foam, I was able to cut right through, and that seemed to work. That works really well. It's a perfect fit. Made the controller opening a little bit tight so that it would be snug. And for the battery and for the controller, to get that stuff out of there, I just kind of worked it. I just kind of worked away at it with the knife, cutting small pieces and getting it out of there. And that seemed to work fine. And then what I'm going to do, I've got some foam here. I've got some other pieces of foam. I'm going to put those on the back, just to snug everything up a little bit when I close it. And so there you go. Beautiful little carry case. This one was brown. I painted it black, make it look professional. But you'll probably find a gray one or a black one. Like I said, they're very common. I think that's about it, folks. Check out my other videos. I've got another video that I did on the DJI Mini 2. Especially if you're a beginner, there's some good tips in there for beginner flyers that apply to any kind of drone, really. I bought my first DJI Phantom in 2014. And check out my other videos in my professional video production series. There's lots of good tips and tricks in there for doing video production. So that's it, guys. Thanks a lot. Thanks for watching. Cheers. I'll see you next time.